Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Kiara G or KG, and I am that girl, and you are that girl or guy, and I would love to have you here to the family. So please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a video. And these clips, I'm just showing you the materials that I'll be using, and I'll also have that in the screen and posted in the description box. I'm also going to show you guys how to start a slip knot. There's multiple ways to do that, but these are the two methods that I use to start a slip knot. I typically go with the second method that I'm going to show you guys here in just a second. For whatever reason, it just seems to be a little easier for me, but I do use both here and there. Just depends on what mood I'm in. You will always start a slip knot for any project you will create when crocheting. And also another important thing, we're going to actually do a foundation or chain stitch. I'm going to show you guys how to make a chain right here, and you just have that crochet hook through that first slip knot, and then you just yarn over and pull that yarn through, and I'm going to do that 3 more times to create 4 chains. And here I'm showing you guys right here a close-up of what those 4 chains look like. So from where my hook is, I'm going to insert my hook in the very first loop that we created. Then I'm going to yarn over and pull my yarn through the first loop, that loop, and the second loop right here. And this is how we start our foundation of making our granny square. So after I pull through both loops, I'm going to chain 3 times. And then I'm going to yarn over and place my hook in that middle circle in the middle right there that I'm showing you guys. And the 3 chains act as a faux double crochet. So yarn over, insert your hook. You're going to pull that yarn through. You're going to yarn over, pull through 2, and then you're going to pull through the last 2 as well. And here you have 2 double crochets because we actually did the chain 3 to act as our faux double crochet. Then we're going to place 1 more double crochet in that same hole. And there we have 3 double crochets, and that's what that looks like. So now we're going to chain 2. We're going to yarn over and double crochet in that same middle hole. And then we're going to put a total of 3 double crochets again in this same hole. And we're going to repeat this step or process about 2 more times, so it'll look like a square eventually, and you guys will see what that looks like in a moment here. And by all means, at any point, feel free to slow this video down and any speed that you would like, or speed it up. I don't know. This is a normal speed that I recorded this in, and this is the finished product almost in regards of like the base of the granny square. So I'm showing you guys how I'm connecting it, and I just chain 2, and I'm going to connect the other side to that foundation / faux double crochet right there. I'm going to slip stitch through, and then I'm going to add my next color, which you'll see here in a moment. And as you can see, it's a square. So it's very important that we have like these 4 little spaces on the corners. That is hit or miss, or it'll make or break your granny square basically. I'm sure if you're doing a different shape, then it might call for something else. But I'm just going to add my second color. And since I already had that first initial chain from the white color of yarn that I use, I'm only going to use 2 chains to add with the orange, and I wait to the very end to cut off all the excess yarn. So again, I'm doing the same process of just chaining 3, yarning over, and doing my double crochet. I'm going to add 3 double crochets in this gap, chain 2, and then I'm going to add 6 in the next gap, and you'll see here in a second. So now we're in the second one, and we're going to add 3 clusters of the double crochets. And now that we have 3, we're going to scoot it over a little bit. We're going to chain 2, and we're going to add 3 more clusters in that same gap. and it'll start to all make sense. And the pattern is pretty repetitive. I'm going to show you guys one more time with the next color. The only difference is there's an extra gap added, but you know, the bigger the square gets, the more gaps you'll have. But I'll show you guys how to do that. So I'm just working my way around doing the same thing. 3 clusters, chain 2, 3 clusters of double crochet and chain 2. And like I said, I'll try my best to have everything either in the description box or on the screen what I'm actually doing, if that'll help someone. Because I know sometimes physically seeing it and or like visually seeing it and also seeing it written helps me as well. And we are getting close to the end here. I'm going to chain 2. I'm going to then do 3 double crochets in the start point to complete this cycle or this round of the granny square. And then I'm going to slip stitch to connect this. And again, like I said, I usually cut off the excess yarn or like secure the square later on. And I also forgot to mention, like, the hole that is showing in the center of this, you can actually pull that start piece of yarn right there and it will tighten and close that. So that's what I'm showing you guys right here in that clip. Just to, you know, close that up. Like, I don't know if you guys can see the difference, but there's definitely a difference. Now I'm just going to slip stitch, or chain 2, excuse me, and then slip stitch into, I can't even get my words out. Oh my gosh. I probably won't ever do a voiceover again just because I don't really like hearing myself on playback, but it's all good. And apparently I'm struggling to get this in there. And what's crazy, I've had this footage for a very, very long time. Probably about a good 9 to 10 months. And I'm just now getting to editing it. But, you know, we have content. So here I'm going in with another color. I'm just going to chain 2 because that orange right there that you guys see at the base or the start is going to act as my first chain. And I'm just going to do the same thing that I did earlier, work my way around. But this round will be a little different, and I will show you guys here in a second. Sidebar, side note, if you're creating just granny squares, you can go around as many times as you would like for whatever project you want to use. I know this project is me making a hat, but just a side note, sidebar. You can go around as many times as you want and create a large granny square. So yeah, but the bigger it gets, the more gaps you have. So you see how I have 3 gaps instead of just the 4 that I initially started off with my foundation or the white color that I had. So I'm going to show you how to do that. So I have my 3 clusters, and then I'm going to insert my crochet hook and then just do 3 double crochets. So in the middle gaps, we're only going to put 3 double crochets and not 6 in total. Only on the very corners are you going to put the clusters of 6 and not just 3. So then I'm going to chain 2, go in the corner, and then I'm going to do my cluster of 3 double crochets, chain 2, 3 double crochets, and then chain 2. So again, only on the corners you want to put those clusters of 6 in total there. In those middle gaps, you only want to do 3. And I'm going to do it, I think, one more time just to show you guys how it looks. And then I will show you the end product or the end of what my granny square looks like here in just a moment. Just going to finish that up and do the same thing. And here is what it looks like with our third round or our third color. I'm not sure what colors I actually used for this project. I wish I knew. Hopefully I still have the wraps. I still try to keep the packaging so I can always go back and find the similar color or the same color if I really like it. So now I'm going to go in with this fourth color, and this is me finishing it off right here and showing you guys what the final product looks like here. And I think all these colors complement each other so well. This is what it looks like. I would actually create these squares for other projects. I just so happened wanted to create a hat of this. And now I'm just going to start to dispose of these ends and secure my actual square by cutting off the yarn that I'm no longer using. And we're going to cut off the ones on the back, and I'm going to like tie and, thread that through the proper appropriate areas. I do things how I do them. So if you do them differently, that's cool. That's you. But if you see something different in these videos that you don't do, everybody has their own way. So off camera, I obviously finished the other squares. Now the bigger square that you see, which has the white, the second round of white, the second white lining over it, that is going to be my base square, the square that sits on top of your head. So I made that bigger just for the simple fact that it's going to be on top of my head. And I should have shown that process, and I don't know why I didn't. But it's very similar. Instead of doing 4 rounds, you're going to just do a 5th round of yarn for the granny square. And I'm just showing you guys all the squares. So you'll need one big one like that white one, and then you're going to need 5 other ones. I decided to alternate with the color switches, and that's just how I decided to do it because how I was going to wear the hat. So, I'm showing you guys or pointing out that that's what I did to that big main square. So I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So I'm going to organize the squares on how I want them to be attached. And I'm going to literally just attach them straight across. Now, I didn't show what that looked like with all of them attached, but I'm showing you here how I decided to attach them with these gaps right here. I'm lining the gaps up so each stitch will be lined up perfectly. Now, again, you see something differently that you don't do that I did, then that's okay. This is just how I like to do it. For my crochet granny square hats, I like the surface looking stitch. It kind of just gives me that, like, I don't know, pizzazz. Like, that's just my thing. So some would just mend the squares differently so like you can see the yarn. But I actually like the overlapping stitch or surface stitch on top of these 2 squares. I don't know. It came out really cute to me. And the color that's probably used the most is the white. So typically when I'm making these hats, that's what, I like to do. So I'm showing you guys how I'm going to stitch these. I thought I slip stitched these, but apparently I single crochet these together, which is also cool. To each his own. I'm sure there's a different method, but this is just the way I chose to do it. So I'm just going to attach these 2 squares, matching them up with the other, and just going in and single crocheting all the way to the end. And that's pretty much it. So in this next clip right here, I'm showing you guys how I connected the 2 squares together. And like I said, I like the way that this looks. Some would connect it where you wouldn't be able to see the yarn that's overlapping or surfacing these 2 granny hooks. But like I said, I like it like this. It's just my thing. So yeah, and I'm going to clean up those excess pieces of yarn as well. And now I'm going to attach the other 3 granny squares per how I had it lined up. And I forgot to show you guys what it looked like all together, just straight lined up. And I decided to go ahead and apparently attach the other 3 granny squares and the main one, the big granny square that's going to sit on top of your head. Now, I would say the attachment of the 5 granny squares are pretty easy, but once you get to that big one, the main one that sits on top of your head, it's kind of somewhat difficult, but it's not really that different. And I'm so sorry that I didn't get that footage. I don't know what happened with that. And in this clip, I'm just showing you again how I attach the granny square side seam together. And again, I'm still using this white color. And after we attach the seam or finish the seam on the side, we're going to go in with the brim. Now with the brim, I don't know why, but I made it very big and floppy. Like normally, like that's my go-to, but I don't know why I went so big with it, but we'll get to that in just a second. But like I said, with closing up these sides of these granny squares, I typically just, I don't know why. I guess I didn't realize I single crochet these together, but to each his own. You can do whatever you like, honestly. And if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments or something like that. Or yeah, let me know in the comments. It'll be better in the comments. And if you really want to reach out to me, I'll also put my email for my crocheting and commission and all that stuff in there as well, so you guys can do that. And I'm also going to have my personal social media and my crochet page in the description or somewhere on the screen as well, so you guys can take a look at it. But I just appreciate you guys supporting and watching. I just really hope you guys got something from this video. If so, please give me a Kamala Harris. Anyways, I don't know why that came out of my mouth, but if you guys liked this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to share and subscribe, please. And you guys can like leave other suggestions and other things that you possibly want to see me do. It's becoming summer. And we want to have some cute, fun pieces to share. And I've had some projects that I've started that I have not yet completed, so I might share that with you guys as well. But I've been meaning to get this content out for a long time. And I'm just gonna wrap up this granny square here. I didn't know I decided to go this long. So here I've basically have finished that side seam of the granny square, and I'm going to just cut off that continued yarn and pull the rest of the yarn through so I can further ensure that the project will remain intact and not unravel and stuff like that. Like I said, I try to wait to the end of my projects to go back and discard of the random pieces. So now I'm about to start the brim, and I'm just going to find one of those gaps on that granny square to start the brim. And I think on this project, we'll see here in a second, but I'm pretty sure I did double crochets to start as my base, or continue the double crochets across the brim as well. Now, I think I went around the brim a few times, so I'm going to say I went around to create this brim at least 3 times to get like the length I wanted. And as you seen there, I decided to chain 3 to create that faux double crochet, and then I went in to do an actual double crochet. And I'm just going to work my way around through these gaps and stitches to create double crochets as the foundation for this brim. So here in this next clip, I am finishing off the foundation of this brim, and I'm just going to connect it the same way that I connected the granny squares, which is a slip stitch here. And you'll see that in a second. And like I said, I'm going to continue to go around the brim at least, I guess, 2 more times, I would say. And then I'm going to start making that fluffy brim effect. And I think I show that. I don't think I show it completely, so and that's how it looks at the end. You won't be able to really tell with that the little gap that was seen right there. So I'm gonna do my faux double crochet. I probably should have did 1 more double crochet in that foundation stitch, but it's all good. But yeah, the second row, I'm just going in doing the same thing, double crocheting on that foundation or base of the brim. Actually, I'm realizing my mistake here. I started a process too soon. So actually what I'm doing here is, instead of double crocheting through both loops, I'm actually crocheting through the front loop, and that's actually what helps your crochet hats have that floppy brim look. I think it would have been best if I decided to go around 1 more time. I'm seeing my mistake here. And what's crazy is I've actually done this process. Like, I've made so many hats up until this point, at least 30 hats probably. So I don't know why I'm making this mistake that I am right here. I had a lot going on in the background as well when I was recording this. But yeah, I decided to go in and double crochet in the front loop only. Like I said, this is a necessary process. I just wish I did another round on that foundation of the brim and then went in the front loop. So I made a boo-boo, but that's okay. It still comes out pretty good. Like, you're not going to be able to tell. And this is me closing off the mistake. So I don't know if you guys can see the difference, a little flop that is given in this angle or in this clip. But the brim is already starting to flop. And for whatever reason, I made this hat a little too big for my head. But it still fits at the same time. Like, the brim is huge and I love it. And you guys will get to see what that looks like. But like I said, I'm closing the end here. We're just going to finish up and we're going to slip stitch once again into the other side. We all make mistakes, so we have to learn from them. I'm definitely seeing my mistakes. as I am doing this voiceover and editing this video, honey. And I'm actually pretty sleepy right now recording this. Whatever. You guys should go try. Chick-fil-A sponsor me. You guys should go try the new watermelon mint drink from Chick-fil-A. It has like watermelon mint, sweet tea, and lemonade if that's how you choose to, get it. And that's how I got mine. It's so good. It's basically an Arnold Palmer with mint and watermelon in it. So good. So I'm going to go around again on this foundation, I guess. Is that what I'm doing here? Let me see what I'm doing. Oh, no, I'm crowding the stitches now. So as you can see, I'm literally stuffing double crochets in each stitch. And that's what I did all the way around to finish up this brim here. So in every stitch you see, now we're going to go back under both loops for the stitches going around. And I seem to not be able to get it together here. But like I said, I'm going to go under both loops, double crochet. I want to say I did, see that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, okay, 5 times. So I went in every stitch at this point 5 times, stuffing double crochets in a single stitch 5 times. And I did that in every stitch all the way back around. And that's how I got the fluttery, floppy, extremely exaggerated look here. And I really hope this voiceover is decent, y'all, because I do not feel like doing this voiceover all over again. And if I have to, I probably won't, because this video is 27 minutes long, y'all. And it was like 55 minutes and I edited out a lot of stuff, but hopefully this works. So literally that's all I'm doing to finish this bucket hat. So this is the finished product. This is my beautiful 80-year-old grandmother. This was last summer. This was her modeling it for me. She did such an awesome job. Doesn't she look so beautiful? But yeah, guys, if you like the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up.